Next on This Is Home, we're looking at ways to transform your landscape ahead of summertime, get that home theater in tip-top shape for entertaining, and talking trends to brighten up your living space without busting the budget. So settle in as we bring you This Is Home. Spring is here and finally warmer weather is on its way. Now's the time to spruce up your home and think about the things that may have fallen off the to-do list throughout the winter months. I'm Taylor Lee Payne and welcome to This Is Home. If you're looking for a quick and easy update to the feel of your home, this is a no-commitment upgrade to your floors that won't break the bank. Let's take a look. One of the easiest, simplest, quickest ways that any family, any homeowner can update the flooring is, of course, rugs.
People have gone towards a hard surface being on their floor, whether that's tile, whether that's wood, whether that's vinyl. The flip side of that is that those floorings are a little bit more permanent. You put down a tile floor, it's something that you want to have for a very, very long time. So a great way to update that tile floor, to upgrade the decor in your room, is to add a rug to that. It also gives you a softness in the room, an element of softness underfoot.
Without the commitment of carpet. You know,
For sure.
I mean, we talked about the last 5 to 7 years, there's been this trend towards hardwood flooring, hard surfaces underneath our feet. Everyone kind of enjoys that, but here's how you add warmth.
For sure, you add warmth and you add something that updates a little bit as well. And when we think of rugs, you know, we think of this.
This is what I think of.
Yeah, we think
my
of
mom, my grandma's
Sure,
rug.
you think of little tassels on the end that your dogs play with and your dogs, you know, grab at, and you think of the border and the kind of the ornate design in the middle. What we would really like to stress, and what we certainly see on the home and garden shows, is kind of a more modern, you know, washed, textured, brighter rug. And so, you know, kind of as we walk over here, you know, this guy has all the gray, all the gold. They're also softer because, again, when you're putting hard surface on the ground, whether that's wood, whether that's a waterproof luxury vinyl plank, or whether that's tile, you want softness. Another thing that rugs allow you to do is add a pop of color. This is certainly a great example of a very, very, very colorful rug.
But you know what, it doesn't have that old world look. It has more of this distressed, modern, more subtle look, but you've still got a ton of color. It's not just gray and white and tan. For sure,
pops of color. So you put that, you know, we talk every time about that word grayish, that gray, beige, taupey look. You put something like that on top of it and you've got a real splash, a real focal point in your room of a colorful, soft element on an otherwise hard floor. That's an extraordinarily cool rug.
That has a lot of the neutrals that we see in a lot of houses. I mean, I think of Parade of Homes. We're getting ready to do that again in a few months. It seems like everything's neutral.
Yeah.
This would be a fun way to incorporate. Even, I also see blue in there.
Sure, definitely some navy blue, even some black if you look really
light
close
blue
there.
A little bit too.
And it's not super patterned. It's washed, so it doesn't pop as some sort of funky pattern that you can't work around. You know, this rug's 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a, you know, kind of a funky feel to it. Rugs are a little bit thinner. We think about that, again, what do we always say we do in our house? We live in our house. And the last thing we need is somebody tripping over a big thick rug, or, you know, our dogs digging through a rug. So yeah, them being a little more low profile is certainly a large part of what makes them an attractive option.
And I think of it, they're on hard surfaces now.
For sure. And so we also, along with a rug, can sell you a rug pad. And what that really allows is it's a little bit heavier kind of wool material that sits still, because, you know, rugs fold up or they get a big hump in the middle. That rug pad allows it to lay over the top of that pad and kind of stay in place and not do some of the things that, again, we've had bad experiences with rugs.
Do I need a rug pad?
I think all rug companies would recommend you have a rug pad. I think it makes a lot of sense to put a pad underneath your rug. Now, it doesn't add softness. It's not like carpet pad that adds a softness and a cushion to it. Rug pad is really more than anything just to keep it in place. But yeah, we would certainly always recommend, especially if you're going to make an investment in a rug, get you a good rug pad underneath it. That rug pad won't have to be changed when you change the rug, unless the size of your new rug. Any carpet can be made into a rug. So carpet comes on a roll, usually 125, 150 foot long by 12 wide. So big, huge rolls of carpet. If you want a rug that it's a custom size or an odd size, you can get a carpet cut. We bind the edges so that it's not loose, you know, it's not straggly edges.
Kind of like this
Yeah, that's
look.
a bound edge. You can get that look. You bind the edge and any carpet can become a rug just the same as because Rugs come prefab sizes. Carpet can be any size. They're 12 foot wide by 150 feet long. We can do pretty much anything in there, and also more affordable, that option as well, especially if you want a huge rug.
This time of year, I'm starting to finally think about going back in the backyard, enjoying time outside. Sprucing up my outdoor space is easy with a rug.
Sure, same principle outdoors. You know, you've got a hard surface out there, whether it's just your normal concrete, your stained concrete, you've tiled it, you've travertined it, whatever you've done out there. I would recommend bringing that rug inside in harsh conditions just to preserve it for the long term.
Now I'll tell you, when I think of outdoor rugs, I think of kind of scratchy material. These are surprisingly soft.
Good. Yeah, sure. Again, I think we get back to that polypropylene aspect
yeah.
of rugs, having the ability to resist stain. Resisting stain is no different than resisting weather. You know, just those conditions, those harsher conditions. But like I cannot overemphasize, if you've got an expensive indoor-outdoor rug in bad weather, I think it's the ideal to bring it in.
In this springtime, early summertime, everybody kind of gets the remodel itch. A lot of people do.
Sure.
We want to update things. What's one thing to those families who might be thinking about it in the back of their head you would advise them
I would
before
say,
they start the process?
no matter what your remodel is, no matter how large or how small, consult the experts first. If you're thinking about new flooring, you're thinking about new backsplash or showers or walls or something like that, come see us. Consult the expert first. That's industry-wide. Go see the people who know what they're doing.
Around town, you may be seeing more hardscaping wherever you go. From pavers and fountains to stone walls and privacy fencing, it can get overwhelming. Let's talk to the experts about what options we have for outside our home. Wendell, we're starting out today over here at one of the most noticeable spots in Lubbock. Everybody remembers this Nike store being put in, but hey, Wendell, you're kind of responsible for this really neat hardscape right here. Walk me through how Tom's Tree Place makes this happen, not only here in commercial properties, but in people's yards too.
Great. Well, I think in 2015, Tom won the bid to do this job, and so we got to come in as a hardscape, doing only hardscapes, which a lot of people, when they think of Tom's Tree Place, they think trees, grass, plants, and all of our landscape. But what we also do is hardscapes, and that can be anything from concrete to brick pavers to fountains, stone walls, all kinds of installation, anything you can think of. In this particular project, we did all of the concrete pavers that we're standing on, that you're walking on. They actually have concrete underneath them just to stabilize it and give it structure. That's something you're going to see on a commercial project quite often.
So that's something, if I see something like this, or it's just a small fountain I want in my backyard, in my front yard, whatever that is. What if I just have an idea? Hey, Wendell, I have a house and I want a fountain.
We love it when people come to us with ideas, but they can go to our office. They'll be set up with one of our architects. We have many great architects to work with. They will take you and they'll take all of your ideas and put together a plan, put it on paper, and they'll go back and forth with you with that process for a little while just to kind of get exactly what you're looking for. Just in the past decade or so, you're seeing more of a fear of dry temperatures, and you're kind of afraid of putting in this huge lawn and then having to water it all the time.
Well, because we have to pay for every time we water it. So it almost seems like invest up front, it could possibly save us time and money in the long run.
Exactly right. And so there are tons of options that you can do with concrete, with brick pavers, any kind of flagstone paving. There's just, it's unlimited. We can provide you with all of those.
What we're standing on, where do people put this residential? Would this maybe be a driveway? Is this a back porch?
Absolutely. There's paving that can be done for a driveway that's not just concrete, not just your plain gray concrete. We do a lot of versions of colored concrete. There's different types of finishes so that you could have more of a rough textured finish or a patterned concrete. We have several patterns to choose from. We do a lot of earth tone colors, a lot of browns, tans, grays. They go great around here. They go in with the kind of the style that you see in Lubbock a lot. A lot of people love natural stone, and so we have a lot of options in that. And that's really where our architects come in. They come up, they can color match stuff and really give you a good idea of what's going to look great. As soon as someone has a warm weekend and they're outside, the first thing they're thinking is, what can I do for my yard? Now, really the best time for hardscapes, plan it early. It's something we do year round, but we can do it all through the winter. We can go in and get all of your concrete and your brick and stone needs done early.
So
and that way, when the
spring
comes in, we can bring in plants and trees and really just get going on the landscape part.
Wendell, we've come over here to Broadway and sort of Avenue U area. You guys have done a lot of projects around here, but what we like about this commercial space is there's aspects to this that are often implemented in people's home spaces.
Right. This is something that would work great in a home. It gives you a semi-private, and so you're letting light in, you're letting air in, you're doing everything with it. But it's a beautiful wall that can be decorative and useful to separate spaces in your landscape. So when you do concrete, you're guaranteed it's going to crack. And the best we can do exactly is by putting control joints in it. So with those joints, we're able to give you a designed concrete look, something a lot more decorative. In this particular concrete, we've got 2 different colors, and they're used almost as a checkerboard pattern, just a creative way to give you something on your patio that's regular than just plain gray concrete. This is a metal wall that was all installed by our guys. It kind of gives you the same sense, the semi-private. So you have holes in it. It's a great solid structure, vines growing up it obviously, and it's really beautiful. And it gives you maybe more of a modern look than what you would get with a stone or a brick wall.
So if you've got a more modern home, a modern feel to your outside architecture, you can
It lets air in, it lets
that.
light in, and then like I said, it grows. You can grow a vine up it, and it's a beautiful product.
Lyndall, this whole process of hardscapes is sort of a new level of knowledge and understanding than being an expert at the living stuff in our yards.
The main thing is you get the idea that you're not replacing the green. You're not getting away from trees and grass, and because you're going to use all of it. But it's more of a foundation for everything. And so when we start a project, we're usually the first ones there with hardscapes, because we're going to go in and we're going to set the foundation, we're going to create the borders, and we're going to kind of create the theme for the way the entire project's going to go. And you're going to have something beautiful that's yours and that you'll be proud to show off and show all your neighbors.
And enjoy in the springtime.
Exactly.
Home theaters are perfect for entertaining, and some installs and adjustments could turn a TV room into a full theater experience. So what kind of budget are you looking at? David, one half of your business, we're not just Texas Homeland Security, but you're also Texas Homeland Security and Sound. So We're standing in the middle of one of your favorite projects you've done.
Theater.
Talk me through, where are we? What are we looking at?
It's a customer it's an existing customer, and he decided he wanted a theater in his basement. Asked if we did that, and I was like, yeah, because most people don't get past the Texas Homeland Security. They don't get past that. It's Texas Homeland Security and Sound. So,
what did you do in this room, and what makes it unique?
well, we've got an HDMI cable in the ceiling, which that's the only thing that's different from stuff that 10, 15 years ago is the HDMI cable.
So that allows this all to happen. Talk me through the sound in here.
Well, sound, you just run the cables, obviously, in a basement with a hard ceiling. You have to do when they're pre-wiring with the electrical and everything else.
So you did this during construction?
Yes.
Can you do it when post-construction? If I decide I want to add all this in?
Nope.
You
have to go wireless. The wireless technology has increased substantially in the last 5 to 10 years.
So when a customer comes to you and says, all right, I don't really know what it is going to look like, but I want a really cool looking man cave theater system. Here's the end result, but how did you guys get here? What different steps did you take?
Well, the first question we always have to ask the customer is, are you going to want a projector or are you going to want a big screen TV? Because you have to run the cables appropriately. And typically they'll know 100% exactly what they want, but if they don't, we'll just tell them we need to wire for both. If the room is smaller than this room, I will say that a 70-inch TV, which the price of those has come down substantially because the 80-inch came out, and now they have the 90-inch. So the price for a 60 or 70-inch screen TV for a normal-sized living room or a small basement is easily big enough. But when you have a basement this big and you have that much room between the couch and the wall, why not make it as big as possible? So we made it pretty large. We run the wires before the sheetrock and paint, and then we just cut a big square hole and this sucks up against it, and you paint it when you're done, or the cover itself, and then
keeps it discreet.
These are magnetic. So you can just take these guys off and paint them
Okay,
anytime you
cool.
want. The equipment is in the closet back there, hidden.
So that's what we call the brains.
Right.
Let's go look at it. So here's the brains of this whole operation.
Correct. It's pretty simple.
It's smaller than I would have expected.
Correct.
Seeing what we see out there.
Correct. A lot of times you'll see a lot more equipment, but this theater probably costs $5,000.
Okay.
Right? I will put a $5,000 theater up against a $10,000, $20,000 theater any day.
So what is the difference? And you know, those more expensive and all those extra gadgets
They
and all
use-
those things that I don't know how to operate.
They use a lot more expensive speakers. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to go ahead and spend the money for the extra speakers. But you turn this theater up, and like I said, people like you and I, you can't hear the difference.
David, we've come to now a totally different home theater. This
Correct.
has a window. So walk me through you as you're setting it up. What makes it different for me, the consumer?
On a one-story house, we can retrofit it
Okay.
because there's an attic. We're really good at running wires in an existing house.
All right.
Basement, obviously, you couldn't. So when there's an attic, most of the time it's possible to do a real, true surround sound without going wireless.
Okay. When do I know the theater system I'm listening to is malfunctioning? What are some telltale signs of I better call an expert out to come look at this, something's going on?
Right. We get those calls a lot. Speakers, when they get older, the older speakers, the inside of them, the part that puts the noise out is paper. And over time, that paper will rip. So if the sound starts getting real distorted, that's typically what will happen is the sound will get real distorted and it'll sound just terrible. It won't sound clean.
Okay.
Speakers will typically last at least twice as long as a stereo will, if not longer.
Good to know. Okay.
So,
So the speakers can outlive the stereo.
oh yeah.
You can go through too. Interesting. Good to know. Good tips. Thousands around our area were hit by a major hailstorm last year. Now, as we're approaching the 1-year mark, for some, there's still a need to assess the damage to your roof. We're talking to the experts about why you need to act quickly and who you can trust. Mike, we're approaching mid-springtime months, which of course means severe weather is on the horizon for the South Plains. Now, when we think about severe weather, roofers, of course, think about May 19th of 2018. What is the significance of that 1-year anniversary of that hailstorm?
Well, it tells us that it's been quite a year because we're still busy from that storm. But more importantly, for the homeowners and insured, you have 1 year to file a claim from the last hailstorm. And so with it being May 19th of 2018, pretty much every insurance carrier requires that you file a claim within a year of the storm. And so if you wait longer, some carriers will still honor that, but they're gonna
might give you a
balk at
harder
it. Yeah,
time.
they're gonna give you a hard time. And so you want to try to get that claim filed if there's one to be filed.
We think of everything we've seen between May through the summer, of course, that huge snowstorm that hit us in December, through what are the signs that I, as a homeowner, maybe I did call you guys, I called somebody, there was an inspection done, but I still feel a little uneasy. Is there anything I might see as a homeowner that would signal it's time to get another inspection done because of what happened, because of what may have started at that hailstorm last May, could be worse by now? What should I be looking for?
Obviously, with the moisture that came in December from the snow that we experienced, people did start experiencing some leaks from that, which maybe raised their elevation as far as their awareness of what's going on in the roof. Maybe they didn't do anything with their roof, and so maybe that snow exposed with the wind that we have and the rain, and who knows what kind of weather we're going to have over the next few days. It just exposes.
It's a toss-up, really.
Yeah, it really does. It exposes just the deficiencies in the roof. And so it's always good, though, before you file a claim with your insurance to get, maybe have a relationship with a roofer that you'd like to give them a call and have them come by and do an inspection.
Now, as I'm choosing a roofer, talk to me again about LARCA and what you would recommend and how people can take advantage of that group of roofers.
So Lubbock Area Roofing Contractors Association,
LARCA
is a group of roofers that are from Lubbock or the South Plains. They've been in business in the Lubbock area for 2 years or longer. We're fully insured. These are companies that this is what we do for a living.
So, I have never experienced a roof failing. I just don't really have a lot of knowledge as to what the beginning signs of that may look like. Walk all of us through. All right, Taylor, if this starts to happen, give a roofer a call.
So the hail impacts the integrity of the shingle and of the roof. And so with the weather that we've had, a lot of this wind especially, what it's doing is it's releasing the adhesive from these older shingles. And a lot of homes in this area are foam insulated, and so there may be a leak that's happened for quite a while, but by the time it came through the foam, there's more severe damage. And so, but for your insulated homes, regular blown in insulated homes, you're going to start seeing sheetrock, whether, it's buckling or there's, spots in your ceiling. You want to address that, but you have to address the point of entry first before you start repairing your sheetrock. And you don't want to have to replace your sheetrock 2 or 3 times, so you want to address the leak. And so that might be as simple as a simple fix, or, an inspection may show, a homeowner that, hey, I have I have a larger issue. You see blown off shingles on your roof, don't just file a claim. I don't know of any of the companies that are part of LARCA that charge to come out and look at your roof.
Call an inspector,
call us,
out.
Call us and we'll come up and look at it and assess what's going on. So whether the hot, the cold, it really does crazy things to your roof. It expands it, it contrasts it. Your vents may need some attention. Maybe there's just some maintenance that needs to be done. You might have another 5 to 10 good years out of your roof, depending on the weather, of course, but maybe there's some just subtle maintenance issues that need to be done that we could help you with.
And it all gets back to, our home is the largest investment we will likely ever make.
It is.
There's one thing on top of it.
That's right, the roof. And so, you want to make sure your family is in a safe, dry location.
Up next, we're going under, particularly when you're shopping for a new house. Experts say pipes can make all the difference. Why is it important to know what's down there, and isn't that part of the inspection? Our experts say you need to look before you end up in hot water. One of the times in life we might really need to lean on the expertise of a plumber is when we're purchasing a new house or selling an old house. Walk me through, Kyle, how do you guys get involved there?
And so what we'll do is you'll give us a call and we'll come out and we'll do video inspections of your sewer and your plumbing to check to see if you have any problems inside the house or out in the yard, because you don't want to buy a house and get into it and have plumbing problems on the inside of the house. You'd rather find out before and try to either get it fixed before you move in the house.
Now, what makes that different than an inspection that we all have to get before, of course, we finalize the house?
Yeah, because on the inspection, what will happen is the home inspector will come in and be able to check everything that he can see. He's not able to see anything through your slab or under the house to look inside your plumbing lines to see if there's any problems. And so that's where we'll come in and we'll run video inspections kind of any time in y'all's grace period of the selling, and we'll look and make sure there's no problems, or if there is, we'll let you know of the problems, do pictures, videos, kind of whatever's up to y'all.
And a rough estimate of maybe how much solving that problem could cost. So then I, as the buyer, can decide, is this still worth it?
Yeah, on the inside of the house, you're looking thousands of dollars on the inside.
Okay.
On the outside, you're probably looking around $1,000, $2,000, somewhere in there. It could get up higher if you end up having slabs and more stuff to go through. So it could be a pretty good amount of money compared to just doing the $150 camera inspection.
We've moved to the back of the house here. Now, this is a clean out, Kyle, so tell me what we're doing here and why me seeing this being a PVC pipe is a good indicator.
What this will just kind of tell you is sometimes it'll tell you that they've already replaced the sewer line, and sometimes it could just indicate that all they did was either just come in and put in a little two-way clean out, or maybe just repaired a small section of it. It doesn't always mean that there's a brand new sewer line in the yard. PVC will kind of indicate it's at least a newer house. Not like brand new, but it's a newer style house. Cast iron means it's going to be the original, most likely, that was in the house when it was built.
As a buyer, as I'm shopping for houses, that does not mean the whole thing's been replaced. Is that a common misconception?
Yeah, and kind of people look at it as, oh, I got a PVC clean out, so that means somebody's put in a brand new PVC line.
But it might just be PVC to
yeah,
here.
they just might have done a little section of pipe, or they could have just came in and put in a clean out, meaning, okay, so how it works is like whenever you buy a house, you end up with the home warranty company. Well, home warranties, you have to have a clean out accessible for the plumber to come out and unstop it. And so that's where it could be that somebody's just came in and put in a clean out to unstop that line, or just an access point for them to do something to it.
All right, well, let's work the
All right,
magic.
so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run this camera in there and we'll see if there's any problems, and it'll tell us if this was just a section replaced or if it was the whole line has been replaced.
Oh, there's that camera right there.
And here's our little video part. And so right now we're just going to go start heading towards the alley, and we'll kind of tell you what the yard line looks like or see if there's any problems
So
with it.
walk me through, what are we seeing so far? This PVC?
Yeah, so right now we're just kind of seeing a clear, clean PVC new line right
And
now.
you're 8 feet underground, almost
Yes,
9.
ma'am. So far it's looking pretty
So you're
good.
still going down.
Yeah, we're
not
just heading
going-
straight towards that alley right now. Usually on PVC, something's going to try to come in through a joint. And
Is
that's
that a
kind of what
joint
you'll
right
kind of
there?
see right there. That's kind of a joint
Okay.
right there. And that's on PVC, that's the only way they're going to get in compared to the old Orangeburgs or clay tile. They can kind of get in anywhere on those lines.
Okay. Now, when you say things are trying to get in, what
Meaning,
kind of things?
mainly
Roots?
it's going to be roots coming into the line. And so now we're going into the city. You can kind of see a good picture of roots
Oh, that's
where they tied in.
totally a different look.
Yes, that's what it'll look like on an older line.
Okay.
You'll kind of see the roots right there and a little bit of roots on the side over there. I'm
Smart.
gonna look at the city every single time I do the camera just to see if there's any problems in the alley.
Okay.
If there is, it's as easy as just we do some locates, locate the line for the city, we mark it with the color of paint that they want, and then we go ahead and just call it into the city. And then
So
the
that's a
city,
city issue.
yes, and the city will come out, repair it, fix it at no cost to the homeowner. The only
Nice.
thing the homeowner has to cover is the camera to locate and make sure there's a problem with the alley on the city. And so most time you're going to think, oh, it's my line that's stopping up. That's
Right,
where the
could-
camera helps out, because I can tell you where your problem actually is.
So, me as someone interested in purchasing this house, you would say, Taylor, you're good. Go for it. Things are looking good.
Yeah, everything's good on your side, because as soon as you called me out to do the inspection, I'm going to go ahead and call in the part on the alley for the city to go ahead and repair that. If you're buying it, not buying it, I'll go ahead and just get that replaced anyway.
So let's say there's 3 or 4 major issues where there's roots in the line.
You're probably
What am I
looking,
looking at?
just kind of rough estimate, you're probably looking somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 on yard lines. It all just kind of depends if there's stuff in the way, if you have concrete in your backyard, stuff that has to be moved or taken out, or if you have to go around big trees, kind of as that one, it kind of costs a little more because now you're kind of going around the tree.
How would I know if it was in the house or in the yard?
When you pull off that cap, if the sewer's holding in there, then that pretty much tells you it's out that way. If you pull it up and it's dry, then your problem's going to be under the house.
Okay.
And so then really the clean out's not going to help you get the sewage out of the house, compared to if it was out here, you could open up the clean out and try to help get some of that sewage out in the yard.
All right, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen when you run that camera? Don't get too graphic with me.
I'll be honest, I think one of my guys a couple months ago just pulled a squirrel out of a line.
I'm really glad we didn't see a squirrel today.
No.
This house is plumber approved.
Yes, all the plumbing's outside's looking good, and the problem's only in the alley.
All right, thanks so much, Tom.
Well, that's it for this edition of This Is Home. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can go to kcbd.com/thisishome to watch extended cuts from all of our experts. We'll see you next time right here on the South Plains, because this is home. Why? Come, word, come. Like if I say this word for a long time, the next word will come to my brain.
Will you keep reminding us that this homeowner that's trying to sell this house might be in for quite a treat. Get more This Is Home online at kcbd.com. Take an in-depth look at all the latest home improvement news in one convenient location, plus watch full episodes of past shows on demand. Just go to kcbd.com and click on the This Is Home tab.